Another old cut in here. You can see where they came up the creek, cut up the bench, even went off the side, maybe some sort of crack over there, threw their tailings off onto the side. So this area is ESH, but there's a lot of bench material in here a person could work. And the interesting thing for people to know about SB3 and all that is there is an exemption. And the exemption is if you move enough material, like let's say with a plan of operation in place, with a small backhoe, a wash plant, if you move enough material, you can be exempt under the motorized mining ban by mining a little bigger. You get a Dogami exemption if you can move 5,000 yards. And there's a lot of material in here if a person wanted to have a small commercial operation. You'd have to deal with the BLM here in this area and put a bond in place and get a plan of operation. But you could certainly pull that off here. There's a lot of material up in here that the old timers were working on that clearly carried pretty much from the creek at least to the base of this hill. There's some signs it continues on in the base of the hill, and you can see they were testing all over the place here. There's another cut here, and there's cuts all through here where they were going back and forth, and you can see their tailings thrown up. They were working this stuff by hand, which you could also do.
A whole bunch of cracks. You can see exposed bedrock here.
Yeah.
Most benches like this, the bedrock's 10, 20 feet deep.
Exactly. Yeah, so you can kind of see where they've... The bedrock's soft in some places, and you can kind of see where they went down through some of it and worked through here and threw all their tailings up on the sides, you know. So needless to say, even though SB3 restricts people from using motors for in-stream mining down here, like with a suction dredge on this claim, a person could work this by hand. You get you and your buddies and your family out here, and you clean the cut out like this and start running again, set a gravity flow up, get some water up here. And needless to say, go to it.
Or you get your hands on a high banker for me.
Yeah. There's another working up here. Pretty close to the claim boundary up here, and this is about it for big workings. Pretty good sized tailing pile down there. I'll let Danny get down and kind of see a aspect. There he is. Tailings in the middle where they've thrown their cobble. And they worked all that stuff down through here. Moved a lot of material, probably a small monitor. Or I guess they could have ground sluiced it maybe. Could have been a small monitor. Tailings down in there. Here's their old trail. Try to do this without slick out, and I'm wearing rubber boots, so kind of try to do this without going bonsai in the creek. A lot of tailings down in here. Creek's right down in here. You can see they worked it over there, same way, right through here, both sides. They went up both sides of it. Nice big working. Probably lots of goodies down there in the bottom. And needless to say, a person could get back in here, run a small plant under the Dogami exemption, move over 5,000 yards. There's certainly that much volume here. There's about probably at least 10 acres of unworked ground here. Most of the claim is on this side of the creek. Probably some good metal detecting opportunities here. certainly some good hand working opportunities. You could work in the creek or come up here on the bench and get into one of these old bedrock races and just look for the cracks and break them out. Ordinarily, we don't offer ESH claim because they have limitations under SB3. This one we are making an exception for because of the local conditions. You got a lot of, so SB3, 838, it applies to in-stream mining. That's down there. Does not apply up here. That was one of the differences between SB 838 and SB3. SB 838 originally included 100 yards on each side of this creek. Was going to be restricted in essential salmon habitat. The one positive change in SB3 was that the moratorium was limited to down here in the creek. The moratorium does not extend to these upland areas. So needless to say, there's nothing stopping somebody to get the proper permits. High bank up here. You could ground sluice up here. You could even run a small commercial operation in here. That's one of the criticisms we had against SB3 and 838 was that these moratoriums seem to be designed to benefit miners who were more likely to move more material than the majority of us. And because they left loopholes out for people who might operate on a larger scale. And needless to say, even though this is ESH, there are opportunities to operate on a larger scale here. One of the things we do offer field time with each claim, and we do offer help. So needless to say, if somebody is interested in something more commercial, we are in a position to help you through that process with claim purchase, help you try to get your Dogami permit and run an upland, larger scale operation in here.